I think this is a really timely question, a really wise approach on the part of South Korea. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected and emerging technologies provide both new opportunities but also new challenges, I think it's increasingly important for South Korea to build its own capabilities and connections. Just as you said, North Korea's threat is only rising, and it leads to the question, are these traditional methods of handling the state sufficient? So by having such a comprehensive strategy that spans both traditional and non-traditional security, as well as including the people-to-people and diplomatic connections that the strategy aims to form, this will help develop a strong foundation for integrated deterrence of North Korea.
Mhm.
And so this integrated deterrence can battle sanction invasions, cyber attacks, illegal fishing, money laundering, and more. So in short, I think it's a comprehensive strategy for a comprehensive threat. So additionally, you see as by building this more inclusive global platform for South Korea.
Mhm.
So by working towards becoming a global pivotal state through strengthening and diversifying supply chains and participating in foreign development aid, the ROK puts itself in a stronger position vis-a-vis China as well. And
Mhm.
this will create fewer concerns regarding economic retaliation and other such issues. So in my view, this isn't so much a move that's shifting the focus away from regional threats, but a move that incorporates global partners and global tools to handle these regional issues on a larger stage. I think there's certainly a potential for getting the sort of lines of importance and sort of immediacy confused, particularly when you're looking at these varying threats with the adversary that is China, potential contingency in the Taiwan Strait. With all of the players in the region, you're not going to get a convergence of threat perceptions very easily. That it'll require sort of a refocus and a reevaluation of who's the threat and who's the target at the same time. So that can provide some more challenges, but also I think it can provide some more opportunities to really reevaluate and see other perspectives on the issue.
Mhm.
Whereas at the same time, I don't think that North Korea will necessarily let itself be forgotten. And I think there will be a lot more attention on North Korea. And we've certainly seen a number of concerning developments over the past year or so with North Korea's nuclear and missile program. Um, and then especially we saw the recent drone incursion and frequent cyber attacks. In line with this, especially with the strategy specifically stating the complete denuclearization of North Korea, rather than what we've seen in previous administrations with the focus on a denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, I think that's a strong statement and something that wouldn't have gone unnoticed.
Mhm.
So in my view, that doesn't necessarily bode well for a market improvement in the relationship in the near term. And though the strategy did note that South Korea would be eager to open dialogues and stress the importance of communication and building peace and prosperity, there hasn't been any reciprocal messaging from North Korea.
Mhm.
And I think without that sort of reciprocal back and forth, we're just not going to see an improvement in the relationship between the South and the North anytime soon. And
Mhm.
as to the US, I think right now we're seeing a similar approach. It's a firm stance, but still saying we're open to dialogue whenever that's possible.
Mhm.
And we see with the anniversary coming up, we're going to have that live fire demonstration in 2023. And I think that that's both a strong statement to North Korea, but also an opportunity for potentially North Korea to reach out for a dialogue. Will that happen? We're not sure. So despite this sort of controversy that could be um, sort of seen by this, we've seen extremely strong messaging across the board about the willingness to both enhance and engage in trilateral cooperation. And even recently, we saw ministerial level people from South Korea, Japan, and the US all speaking on trilateral and how it's a vital part to peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific. So
Mhm.
I think that this speaks greatly toward the opportunity that we still see in improving trilateral cooperation, but also coordination.
Mm.
There are the hurdles, as you noted, with the concern over the counterstrike capabilities, and I think that Japan is very cognizant of that. So we saw Prime Minister Kishida make a very deliberate statement, both to the concerned regional parties, but also to a hesitant domestic constituency, where he said that this counterstrike capability can only be used to the minimum extent necessary to prevent further attacks while defending against incoming missiles. So in this way, I think that he's trying to say, in a purely logistical standpoint, this will be a defensive capability only, despite the fact that it also has offensive capabilities. So I think if we look at it from purely capability and logistics standpoint, counterstrike capability would likely serve trilateral interests, not purely Japanese interests alone. Of course, this is early stages. They don't have the capabilities yet, so it's a great deal left to be done to actualize this planning and see what shape these capabilities and the protocols surrounding them will take. But at the current moment, with the sheer level of positive messaging we've seen in regard to the trilateral relationship, as well as the strong statements in South Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy, I believe we'll continue to see momentum at this current moment and in the upcoming year as well, particularly when it's in relation to information sharing and joint exercises in order to respond to North Korea as we see these increases in the arsenal and capabilities.